Okay, 1936-37. Motoring through this fantastic awesomeness that is NHL history. And it's interesting because this is a year where the NHL takes over the New York Americans before the start of the season. So the team is losing a lot of money. So are the Maroons. But the NHL looks at the Americans and goes, "All right, we've got to take this thing over. This just isn't working." And then this is the season where Howie Morenz goes into the boards and breaks his leg, apparently in a grievous-looking wound manner kind of thing, and he died of a pulmonary embolism a while after. So blood clot, and Howie Morenz passing is tragic. I'm actually kind of surprised the NHL didn't come out and name an award after him after that. And as far as I know, I haven't got to anything other than the fact that when he passed away, Montreal Canadian fans in the thousands went to a public viewing and mourned him. So he was a beloved man in the city, and Montreal Canadian fans had a hard time with losing him. Yet the Montreal Canadiens themselves as a team posted a record of 24-18-6, which is way better than the season before. The Maroons were 22-17-9. Again, the Maroons posting good numbers despite not making any money and having issues financially. Toronto Maple Leafs 22-21-5. The New York Americans, as mentioned before, the NHL takes them over. They're 15-29-4. They're not done yet, though, but we're getting close. The Maroons... We'll have some stuff on the Maroons to discuss tomorrow. The Detroit Red Wings 25-14-9. Boston 23-18-7. The Rangers 19-20-9. And Chicago 14-27-7. And yet, despite that record for Chicago, financially, they're okay. Goals leader was Nell Stewart, who played for Boston and the New York Americans with 23. He's tied with Larry Orey of the Detroit Red Wings, who had the same total. Assists, Sel Apps, Toronto's future Hall of Famer, 29 to lead the way. The Hart goes to Babe Siebert of Montreal. The Calder goes to Sel Apps, as mentioned, of Toronto. Vesna goes to Normie Smith of Detroit. I talked about him yesterday and his legend, and it continues to grow in today's installment. The Lady Byng goes to Marty Berry of Detroit. So, you ever want to just throw out a random fact? Just say, did you know that the 1936-37 winner of the Lady Byng Trophy was Marty Berry? Bet you didn't know that. And then just leave it at that. Don't have any extra information on hand. Don't pretend you know who the guy is. So when somebody goes, how do you know that? I don't know. Well, what does that information give me? Nothing. All right, and now we get back into the playoffs, which improves. The total goals series, they're gone. Now you got to win the games. Not just the goals. Not just total goals. It's you got to win the games. Series A, so this is still between the first place teams in each division. The winner of that series going to the Stanley Cup Final. The Montreal Canadiens lose in Detroit 4-0. They then lose in Detroit again 5-1. Then they win in Montreal 3-1. They win in Montreal 3-1. So Detroit, that's a 2-2 series tie. Detroit wins Game 5 to win the series in 5 by a score of 2-1 in Montreal in triple overtime. It's a lot of overtimes. In the quarterfinal matchups, Boston plays the Maroons. So again, it's 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3. The Maroons win 4-1. Boston wins 4-0. The Maroons win 4-1. So the Maroons knock out the Bruins by a final of 2-1. Meaning that Boston's always had problems with teams from Montreal. What a surprise. Series C, another quarterfinal here. The Rangers win 3-0 over Toronto. The Rangers then beat Toronto 2-1 in Game 2 to win the series in 2 games. I do think that if we had a best-of-3 series, so you have your 16 game playoffs, right? You have 16 wins to get to the Stanley Cup. I think that if they did expand the playoff format, if they did a best 2 out of 3 between a couple of, say expand it to 24, but you're playing your way in, sort of like what the World Cup's going to eventually. Anyway, I think that would be interesting to see a really short series like that and see how psychologically that changes the way teams play and coaches coach, and it would be fun to watch. In the semifinals, the Rangers win 1-0 in Game 1. They win Game 2 4-0. So the Maroons, thanks for coming out. You didn't get a goal. And the New York Rangers, a sub-500 team, goes to the Stanley Cup final with a 2-0 sweep over the Montreal Maroons. As one might expect, the Rangers win Game 1 5-1. The sub-500 team has no pressure on them at all. But then you go to Detroit for 4. And I didn't see a listing of why it went for 4 in Detroit. That's a bit of a home ice advantage, isn't it? Detroit wins Game 1 4-2. They lose Game 3 1-0. Now remember, this is a best of 5. So now Detroit's in a winner-die situation. They win Game 4 1-0. They win Game 5 3-0 over the New York Rangers. And they win the Stanley Cup 3-2, becoming the first U.S.-based team to win back-to-back Stanley Cups. And Normie Smith doesn't allow a goal for the last 2 games he plays, and only won the game before that. So, pretty solid season for a goaltender who wins a Vezina. And remember, the Vezina is not voted on. It's for the goaltender with the lowest goals against average. In this case, this season, the right guy got it. So there you go. Your 1937 Stanley Cup champions, once again, the Detroit Red Wings. We're getting closer. Tomorrow, we will see the end of the divisional situation, and we will be down to a 1-division, 7-team league. We will be saying goodbye to one of the wonderful, much beloved teams on this board. So there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video, and I will talk to you again soon.